It's me. Did you expect someone else? Never know who might break in to my house and start live streaming. Did you know that TikTok of me laughing has over 4 million views now? 4 mil.
Is MindsEye as bad as Cyberpunk was on launch?
It's worse. The devs have come out and they're like, look, we'll fix the technical issues, but like, that's not its problem. Like Cyberpunk, when you played it, you were like, yeah, this thing needed like some time in the oven, but they had some style. They were going for something there. Things weren't working, but what did work was good. There's nothing redeeming about MindsEye. Nothing. The thing about this video, MindsEye video, is I didn't even include like the graphical issues. This video is largely just me being like, the game mechanics, what the hell? There's this one quote from Jake. Jake over at Game Ranks. He said, MindsEye is a waste of time. It's dull, it's uninspired, it's messy, it's short, and it's $60. I can't recommend this game not because of the bugs and the glitches or performance issues, but just because it's an undercooked rush game with no real life to it. Every aspect of this game, from its gameplay to its story, this is my add-on here. Every aspect from its gameplay to its story was met with significant criticism and sometimes mockery.
I love the editing in the MindsEye video.
Do you? I did it. This video, I edited in a couple of hours while sick. It's one of those, this video is not really important, doesn't need high quality editing, just needs to have the moments from the stream that matter. It's a very, very simple edit. I saw someone came out with a video where they said they liked the game. This wasn't the original title. The original title was, MindsEye was actually way better than I expected.
Will you continue playing the game?
No. TG finished it and it was a mess. I mean, PlayStation giving away refunds now. Do you know how bad your game has to be for PlayStation to offer refunds?
I don't understand people justifying the story either. There are too many inconsistencies, plot holes, bad writing, and unbelievable interactions.
One of the biggest problems is it's not clear how sincere Diaz is. I don't know if he's lying to everyone or if he actually doesn't remember certain things. You guys seen this on Twitter? Why does DarkViperAU have a bald spot? Answered by the genius that is Google's AI. There's my bald spot. DarkViperAU, also known as Matt, has a bald spot on his head due to a childhood injury, specifically a gunshot wound. The bald spot is located on the right side of his head. This is the left side of my head. Some viewers joke that the injury is the reason he speedruns Grand Theft Auto 5, but this is not confirmed or serious explanation. Just clear up the falsehoods, the bald spot is actually on the left side of my head. Should be obvious that I didn't actually get shot in the side of the head.
Try asking ChatGPT.
True, ask ChatGPT. Comedian and streamer DarkViperAU Matt is often pictured with a distinctive bald or closely shaven spot on the side of his head. There is no official explanation from him. It seems to be a grooming choice rather than a medical condition. It's likely part of his personal style, possibly for comedic effect or to stand out visually on camera. So that's somehow even worse. I've given a serious explanation many times. I got sent this, which was a surprise. I don't know if this is news or not, but Mrs. Phillips was mentioned in today's update. Mrs. Phillips has gone AWOL and is holding up Mount Zoa Medical Center. The police aren't doing anything and we can't arrest her, but we can restock the Dilutamol that she is violently craving. There has been a debate for the longest time whether Mrs. Phillips was dead and whether Mrs. Phillips, as was shown in the end of game side mission with Trevor, if she was actually there. If you've seen my lore video, I said, hey yo, it seems most likely that she's there based on what we know, and it seems even more likely that she isn't dead. I think the biggest evidence being, well, there's so many things, but the biggest evidence is just the dialogue that Trevor has with Michael, where Trevor talks about how he doesn't want his mother to see him like he currently is, suggesting that Trevor believes her to be alive. I don't want her to see me this way. You know this if you've seen my lore video. So I said here, I told you Mrs. Phillips is still alive. My Trevor lore video is aging like fine wine. Then someone down here, multiple people actually said, the fact that you didn't mention Ron's message to Trevor, where he says that he has brought Trevor's mum to his trailer, still grinds my gears to this day. And I was like, what text message? While I do know a lot about the game, it's always possible that I can miss some random text message or like, I just don't remember it or something. It's not like I hang around a ridiculous amount at the end of the game, for example. But then I was pretty sure, I'm pretty sure that was a text message related to dropping off the vehicle, right? And so I asked Will to look into it for me. And so he confirms that this text from Ron where he says, "Hey Trevor, just dropped off something cool by the trailer. Check it out when you get the chance. Forever, Ron." As I say here, this text from Ron refers to the Nagasaki hot rod blazer that he gives Trevor at the end of the game. Internally, it is called Blazer 3U. There is no text of Ron saying he dropped off Trevor's mum. Now, like, I can understand a person who, like, vaguely remembers what the text message is about, thinking it was about Trevor's mum, because the text message happens around the time that his mum is there. But the phrasing here, just dropped off something cool by the trailer. Check it out when you get the chance. That doesn't sound like a person dropping off your mother, right? But apparently, this is like a lot of people believe this. Wait, what? He wasn't talking about his mum? Like, apparently a lot of people believe this text was talking about his mother, and that's why they believe she was actually there rather than a hallucination. But no, there are many other reasons to know that she was there.
It wasn't a text message, it was a Life Invader message. If you check Life Invader website as Trevor, Ron leaves a message saying, "So when are you going to introduce me to your mum?"
I mentioned that in the lore video, yeah. Based on the phrasing, I believe it just suggests that he heard Trevor's mother. But that one is in my video, yeah. The most recent update for GTA 5 and online has like a ridiculous amount of stuff in it. This update, 1.71, is just so much stuff. All these fixes and stuff. In there though was an interesting one. I can't believe it, Rockstar finally fixed the FPS bug on complications that caused you to fail over and over if your FPS was above 120. It existed for almost a decade. Maybe the monkey business disruption bug will be fixed next. So I'm sure you've seen it when I played the game and I'm like, oh no, I forgot to cap my FPS, and I just start failing. It's because the car like slides into Simeon or something. Because for some reason the car with a high FPS like jitters and moves. So after all these years, they fixed it. To be honest with you, I haven't confirmed that they fixed it, but what else could this possibly be referring to? Fixed an issue that resulted in a story mode mission complications failing unexpectedly. So maybe we'll also get a monkey business bug fix. For those who don't know, to this day, if you drive up to monkey business, when assets from it spawn in, it causes Michael to be spooked and he runs away and disrupts the mission, and you have to leave and come back and then it works fine. If you taxi there, it's fine though, but see a big win for Rockstar. Even bigger news though, Pacifist 2.0 coming soon. And this is a picture of the strat that you know, especially if you watch the melee-only challenge, as to why Trevor's here and Jasper's guns away from Trevor's head and da-da-da. Yeah, super happy about that. As I've said before, I'm going to be having Martin help me edit it when we both have some free time. Not to make it seem like the biggest issue with what's going on around the world is my content, but the war between Israel and Iran has impacted my content in that multiple people on my team surprisingly from Iran or around the area or whatever. Not only do I have to deal with like the stress and worry about them physically, personally, but it would delay the release of some stuff. You know me, I don't like to get political anymore, but I am super fucking pissed. Not you know, just the whole situation over there. And like, I'm listening to people try and justify it. It's the dumbest fucking thing I've ever listened to in my life. I'll have, like, Yellow will tell me like, oh, you know, like $50 million is being stolen from the banks like every day. Like their banks are getting hacked. People are losing their life savings and stuff. And then like people are losing their lives as well. I just mean like, when you see like a death counter and wounded counter or something on the screen, that's horrifying. But like, you don't get to see all the small stuff where people's lives are just entirely destroyed. Imagine you spend your whole life working and building up, and then just like, oh, you know, just someone just wants to fucking shoot rockets at your country now. Rip everything you've built up for your life. Because then not only do you have to worry about dying, it's your entire country is becoming unstable for potentially decades. I'm really enjoying this audiobook that I'm currently listening to. It's called The Perfect Run. Like, just based off that name, you know, and my association with speedrunning, you can see that there's probably something related there. I love shows about time travel or like supernatural longevity. So like immortality, people living for hundreds of years and all that stuff. This combines the two together. It's not major spoilers because it's established very early on. This dude has an ability where he can set a save point. He in fact calls himself quick save. So he saves a point in reality, experiences days, weeks, months, and then when he dies, he respawns back at that save point in reality. So like he travels back in time, basically. He's just in a constant time loop trying to get the perfect run. So he finds out about all the people, everything that's going on and all that stuff. And then he uses all the information in the perfect run, does all the stuff he wants to do in like a week or something, then sets a new save point, and then does the next week. And so he's experiencing weeks, months, years, over and over and over again, learning all this new information and stuff to get the perfect run for a week or whatever. That's not his obsession. His obsession isn't like Well, it is kind of, but it's a very interesting take on this idea of a form of immortality with time travel. The basic premise of the series, I don't think this is that spoilerish, because I'm not spoiling all the twists and turns and whatever. This is a premise you find out like a few chapters in, where, well, at least at the very least at the beginning, you know that the world is like, calamities have happened. A bunch of bombs were dropped, and it's a kind of post-apocalyptic kind of thing. People still have technology and stuff, in part because of people having abilities. There are, I think it's 7 elixirs, where if you drink one, you get an ability. It was made by this crazy alchemist guy, and he wanted to create the next level of humanity. And so he basically sends out these vials that he creates to all these people that he thinks are worthwhile people. You know, some get lost in the way, and some people steal them and stuff, and da-da-da. But obviously, bad people get them, or the power corrupts the people he gave them to. So a lot of people have these abilities because he sends out like thousands of them, but they're not abilities as they are often in normal shows like throwing fireballs and stuff, although that does exist. You can have an ability that relates to the concept of a thing. So blue vials give you an ability related to intelligence. So a person drinks one and understands intuitively everything about the ocean. So all the animals, how pressures work, how you can like build submarines. She spends her time like building basically fortresses under the water. Another person will get an ability related to robotics. And that's one of the reasons why there was a whole calamity, because a dude drunk it became like, they call them geniuses if you take a blue vial. And so he became knowledgeable in robotics. And so built himself just an army of robots and tried to take over the world. Like they'll meet someone who has the power over the concept of death. And so they can do anything related to death. And so the powers are often a lot more abstract. A person can control the idea of happiness or something, that kind of stuff. So the powers have like no limit. And it's an interesting world that he's in and experiencing this going back in time and people not knowing him. And I'm not going to spoil it, but you think, how long has he been doing this? When you realize that only 4 years have progressed since he got his power in the real world. And you realize quite quickly, he's been doing this for a while, but how long? It's in this genre of, I believe they're called literature RPGs. It's a thing I got interested in a while back when I read one about a dude who became a goblin, I think. Let me see what it was called. I mean, I remember talking about it on stream. I don't know. Either way, it's this idea where it always involves like some character, like some person getting thrown into a fictional world or like a digital world or something, and the book plays out kind of like a video game in some ways. Some more explicit than others, where in some it will tell you about like the stats that a person gets, and they will be like, oh, I leveled up, I better put 5 stats into strength. Like the world plays out in the same way that a video game traditionally does, but a person's cognizance, they're in a video game. Basically, it's like a permanent fourth world breaking thing, and it is very similar to isekai. Although at the very least, I think isekai has moved more into the genre of lit RPGs over the last upteenth years. Like when isekai first started, so isekai is in Japanese anime, manga, and stuff, where a person is transported to a fictional fantasy world and stuff. But often that would just be like, they would go to another world that is, different from ours, but it has magic. But now, people have realized they can just have the video game elements. So a person can like press in the air and bring up like a menu, and they can select stuff as if they're playing a video game. In stories and anime, I think it's become more prevalent, but there's a whole genre of that in books, in audiobooks, and this kind of is that. I take that back. This isn't really that. It doesn't have that kind of video gamey aspect to it. It's treated as a serious world. It's just people have powers. I think it's cool. Mayor's talking about Overlord. Yeah, Overlord's a great anime. I love Overlord, yeah.
Are you more of a subbed or dubbed anime watcher?
I don't care, honestly. I think dubbing has come such a long way compared to what it was, 10 years ago or 5 years ago, whatever. It's a lot more professional. The subbed is a lot less restricted in what they can say and how they can express things, because the characters are being made to match and their mouths are being made to match the sub, where the dub has to fit what they're saying within the confines of the animation made for the sub. But I think they do a very good job. Like I usually end up like, if there is dub, I will watch the dubbed episodes, and then if there is not, like let's say the newest episodes are in sub, I just move to sub, and I just don't care. Plus, when you have the dub, you can watch it while doing other things. Sub requires your full attention on the screen. I saw this funny shorts on TikTok where the person is like, they're cooking, and so they're watching, and then speaking in perfect English, and then they look down to put something in their food. And then the English changes to complete gibberish. And then they look up again and it all turns back to English. And then looks down, turns to gibberish again, looks up to, simulating the idea of what watching with subs is like. Every time your eyes look away from the screen, everything becomes gibberish. And you look back up and then you understand. It was a great shot. Maybe I should do something less important, like the online awards, or maybe I shouldn't do anything.
I mean, if you don't want to play GTA, I am ready to listen. It's very chill.
I want to play it, so... What happens is, if I was just a live streamer, I'd be like, fuck it, let's just, I just do this today. Because it doesn't matter, whatever quality of feeling that I have, that's just how good it ends up being that day. But because I'm a YouTuber, if I record something and do it poorly, then that's kind of it, I can't have that first experience again, which is often crucial for the challenge. Because I'll have learned stuff, and so you won't have the showcasing and be learning stuff. The first Cougar challenge I did, it has almost 4 million views. How crazy is that? It's one of my most viewed videos ever. The one I did with Nico crossing Liberty City didn't do particularly well. And I don't imagine this Extreme Cougar one is going to do particularly well either. I just did the Franklin crossing at a very good time in my career for it to get that kind of views. Like obviously the Michael and Trevor one didn't do that well. The Cougar challenge, how you found my channel, exactly. And so, this is the next generation of that, and I kind of probably shouldn't ruin it. Every dude I know has no idea who Viper is. It's important to remember just like how big YouTube is, right? There are tens of thousands of creators with over 1 million subs. And like you couldn't even know half of them, right? I meet people all the time, like even personally at like events and stuff, and they're like, oh, this guy has 6 squillion subscribers. I'm like, never heard of him. It is weird if a person watches GTA content on YouTube and doesn't know me, but unless you're in that very particular audience, I don't expect you to know me, Have I installed the No Cougars mod? No. I put that on Twitter just now. I posted it on Twitter. This is it. The peak of GTA 5 modding is only downhill from here. No Cougars in Missions 1.0 by Phaser. This mod finally fixes one of the biggest issues in GTA 5, prevents mountain lions, aka cougars, from spawning during missions. Meaning that with this feature, your runs can no longer be ruined. What a picture of me! The quality! Yeah, I have no reason to install this. But it's a funny meme. Thanks to whoever made it. You can download it, of course. It's currently got 19 downloads and 11 likes, but it just came out 13 hours, man. Soon it will have millions, clearly. It's been a problem for many people. I, of course, am Elite Pro DarkViperAU, so I can handle Cougars now. I got the experience. Guys, how crazy is this? Leslie Benzies confirms MindsEye will be relaunched and controversially says the faults of MindsEye are due to internal and external saboteurs in a statement addressed to employees. I had one response to this, which is a picture of me laughing from my MindsEye playthrough. There's no amount of sabotage that could have created something that bad. Everything could have worked exactly as intended, and it still would have been bad. As a statement, me and TG said how it's not going to be a No Man's Sky or a Cyberpunk 2077 kind of situation, because those games had some foundation, some core that was interesting, unique, made by passionate people. This was just a slot fest. Is nuts. If they re-released the game, it would be similar to Morbius, where they re-released that in cinemas and people went, we don't care. I'll be honest with you though, if they do bring back the game and it is substantially better than it was the first time round, I think word would get out about that, because people would be curious about, because it was like, this is like a once in a generation bomb of a game of how bad it was. Some people will check that out and go, oh, this is actually really good, and word will get around. It's just hard to imagine how much money was thrown at that game and how much more money they're gonna have to throw at it in the hopes of recouping something. I don't know. Here's Blue here says they're fixing bugs, not the story. Like, this is the kind of game you need to rebuild from the ground up, and they're not going to do that. Who could have done the sabotage? It's the people who, they exist in the shadows. Them, you heard of them. They're the guys who do the things those times, and they really don't like that Leslie Benzies guys for the things he did that one time. We all know this stuff. Don't tell me you don't know about these things. They're everywhere. They're listening. The wolves have eyes. I posted this image to Twitter and to my community post. We got 4.9k likes on Twitter, and it's just me on the side here and Devin Weston in the trunk in GT5. I didn't make this. This original picture came from just a picture I took when I was going through my cables or whatever, and I was just showing off how many cables I had. This was made by someone on the Reddit. It's unfortunate I don't remember their name anymore because it's been that long. But posting on my community post, I got 29,000 likes. Like this is like my most viewed post in ages. And you know what? It's a repost. I'm pretty sure I posted that before. And it just goes to show what I constantly say. It's only a repost to some people. And even for those people who have seen it before, they may not remember it. And for even those who remember it, they'll be like, oh, I like that thing. That's the thing I saw that one time. This is funny. And they press the like button. It's why I try, whenever I can, to bring back good stuff from the past and just be like, yo, check it out. But of course, as I've said before, as a YouTuber, I can't be caught up in the past. Like I can't waste all my days going over stuff I've already made before I need to make new stuff as well. Like I've wasted days on this. I'll be honest with you. I've wasted days on this. I've been organizing all my back-end stuff, all my rambles from all the years because I hated that they were all jumbled and didn't make any sense. And so I'm now sorting them all to make sure I have them all. So they're all going to sit back there. It's helped me in a variety of ways find different footage and all that. But there's a lot of like footage organization that I need to do to get everything running smoothly. And this kind of needs to be done, but not right now, but I'm still doing it. Regardless, I might have someone go over the Reddit and find like some of the best stuff from the past and see if we can bring that back to the forefront and see if people can enjoy that shit, you know. People didn't like the Reddit recap compilation that I released a while back though. Reddit went too far in 2020 and I have the memes to prove it. 2020 was cursed, but why? And it's just the best of the Reddit recap in 2020. I'll try a different sort of title with the 2021 compilation. But yeah, so that's why that is like that. And I like this one as well. But this is not a repost, but I mean, it's using footage from, 12 years ago now. Viewer, I want you to do something for me. Me. And it's just Simeon. I'll tell you what, my boy, you tell me exactly what you want, and I will very carefully explain to you why it cannot be. Of course, Damaged Sector posted here, my face morphed onto Simeon, which of course got posted here and 15k likes. I didn't post this one, Avenge posted this one. I didn't know how people would respond to this because I'm pretty sure this is just AI. Before, the modern conception of AI, people were doing that face swap stuff on their phones all the time. Before people became justifiably concerned with the direction that AI was going, this was just some little thing that you'd just do on your phone for nothing, right? It's possible it was photoshopped. It's possible, but you know how things are these days. It looks at it, possibly. And that's probably why there wasn't any complaints or whatever, because, it's conceivably possible this person did it. I don't like that Avenge didn't do a credit down here, though. So if you see this Damaged Sector, thank you for making that. If you did make it, which I hope you did.
I hope you are doing well and getting better sleep, Viper Love.
I've not been sleeping well the last couple of days, actually. It's not simply because Aitana's not here. I've just been scrolling TikTok a little bit too late into the night. I'm the kind of person who needs some time to wind down before they sleep. I mean, I think that's actually healthy, what you're meant to have. So sometimes I'll get caught up in working a little bit too late. And so I'll go to bed midnight. And then I'll still need an hour and a half minimum to get to sleep. And a part of that will just be me scrolling social media and stuff. It's just not in me just to go sleep. It's why I prefer to only work until 10. But sometimes I'm doing a project or I'm doing some sort of task, whatever, that's very close to finishing. Or I just want to get that little bit more done. Or I'm about to get off the PC, then I'm like, oh, actually, wait, I haven't done X, Y, and Z. I better do that now. And I don't. Yesterday, I was just I just stopped for a moment and thought to myself, I feel like I've just been sourcing thousands of files for hours and I haven't blinked in that entire time. That's not true. I've definitely, while sorting, stopped and started videos to listen to while going through footage, because sometimes I have to pause it and listen to a file for a long time. But
do you work out?
No, not currently. My goal with the next house that I buy to have a pool, a large pool, one I can actually do laps in. The exercise that I like the most is swimming. I love water, chat. We'll go to other countries and stuff, and there'll be the great food and the great views and stuff. And when can we go in the water? And then I'll just get in the water and just paddle around like a dog. Okay, that looked really weird, but whatever. And just do like flips and spin and go backwards and forwards. And I feel it's the most childlike I feel. Just fucking around in the water. And so if I get a pool, like I'll swim every day. Like if I legitimately had a lap pool, I'd just swim every day. But I want a lap pool that has like a covering over the top of it because I don't want to get cooked by the sun every day. Water does not protect you from the sun, chat. I think it actually makes it worse. It's why people who live along the coast and stuff and swim every day and all that stuff, they look cooked by the time they're 40. John Marston's worst nightmare. Yeah.